Howdy, welcome to another Nonsense Wars production. Today we're taking a look at an item from our own backyard. So our local LEGO convention is Bricks by the Bay, which is put on by some people from our lug. And usually there's an event kit that's available, which is a set you can get when you buy admission to the convention. This is the kit from 2014, which was actually a board game. I received this sealed from the designer, and we've just opened the seal here. So in all years, the convention kit is a model that's somewhat substantial. Like you might get a small model with your badge just for attending the convention, but this is a little bit more substantial. And unusually, it's not a static display piece. This is a board game. So let's take a look at what's inside the box. So first off, there are game rules, 2 books, game rules and instructions for building this spaceship and the other game pieces that are involved. And there's a full inventory at the back. So this is what the game board looks like eventually. And there's a bunch of other pieces that are used. These rules go in some depth about how to set up and how to play the game. And in addition to that, there are 2 bags inside the kit. This contains all of the regular parts. And this smaller bag contains several custom printed pieces. Okay, so now that we've built the game, let's talk about all of this stuff that came out. So there's a spaceship and a space station. Then there are 6 destination planets whose colors match the sides on this dice. And then there are 4 source planets. These hex-based objects form the playing board and are connected using these connectors. There's several black ones, 4 green ones, and 2 printed ones here. So commemorative tile printed one and a Brick Traders of the Galaxy printed one. After that, there are player pawns in 4 colors, some associated bricks for those 4 colors, and 1 of these cargo slips basically for each player. These tiles will eventually go with that. These tiles show the trade goods. You can see that there are 4 of each, and they also appear on top of the source planets. Then there's this handful of tiles as the last part of the game. So these are the player or the planet colored tiles. All right, so now that we've covered the parts in the game, let's talk about gameplay. The first thing you have to do in the game is assemble the board. So there's a start and a finish. This is not a race game. These are only relevant for the starting position of all players and the final place you have to go once you've finished doing everything else in the game. There's these 4 source planets and the 6 destination planets. The gameplay consists of visiting source planets and then going to the appropriate destination based on an order that's generated by rolling dice and drawing tiles at random. So the placement of this is relevant for how fast you can actually complete your order. Each of these is built on, it's easier to see on this, one of these hexagonal parts. So the board layout is a hex grid. The game rules specify that players take turns choosing a planet and attaching it to the board. So you could choose this one, for example, and connect it like that. And then if the next player chose to take this one and put it here, they would have to make both possible connections there and there. The next thing you have to do is make your delivery orders. This is a game about picking up goods and taking them somewhere else. Now, you see here the full set of parts for 1 player. And the first thing you have to do when you start the game is to fill your delivery sheet with the orders you need to complete. So the order consists of one good. So you see there's 4 goods in the game, which correspond with these 4 planets. So you have to go to that planet, get one of these, and then take it to one of these 6 destination planets. These colors of these tiles correspond with the 6 brown planets. And so to do this, you pick them at random, put those face down. Eventually, over the course of the game, you'll have to pick up one of each good, so you have to keep that in mind. So the first thing I need to pick up is these blue fruit things, and I need to take them to white. And then the next thing I need to get is these green bottles, which I need to take. I also need to take them to white, so that's convenient. To avoid the order being too easy, like having to go to the white planet twice, the rules actually specify you have to roll this again and get another planet, so green in this case. I think it would have been better if they had just given us a bag to draw the tiles from at random instead of relying on the dice. So on your turn, you're supposed to, there are 4 things you can do in order. You can add or remove a Stargate, and we'll get into that in a moment. You can move, you then move your pawn. Then if you're at a planet where you can pick things up, you can pick it up. If you're at a planet where you can deliver things, you can deliver them. And then if you've delivered something, you cross it off your order list and you make another order using the random draw and the dice, as we demonstrated before. For movement, you can do one move per turn, and if you're on one of these black connectors between 2 planets, it takes you 2 turns because you have to be here. So this is a long journey between planets. So 1 move, and then on the next turn, you can finish your move by going to the planet. The point of the Stargates is if you've previously placed one on the connector, and it doesn't matter where on the connector it is, you can go from one planet to the connected planet in a single move. So you can see that having these in the right place can significantly reduce your travel time. The green markers here implicitly have Stargates that any player can use. So since all players start here, they can immediately go to either of these 2 planets on the first move. So let's say it's orange and I'm this player and it's my turn. So first I can place I want to go pick up these green bottles. So first I can place a Stargate here, and then I can move here. And now that I'm at the correct planet, I can pick up a bottle and put it in my cargo. So that's the end of that turn. And on my next turn, I can place another Stargate here, finish my move here, and successfully deliver this bottle to the dark green planet. So I'll pop both of those off and drop this down to indicate I've completed delivering that good. And then I will make another order by picking one of the 2 remaining goods. So these golden cups and a planet. We've played a bit of a way through a 4-player game, and now we're at the situation where somehow all 4 pawns are at this junction, which kind of makes sense because these planets are in the middle and connect to the most other planets. It's Orange's turn, and Orange would like to deliver this cat to the yellow planet. However, there's already 2 Stargates on this connector, and so they can't add another one. That's just the rules. And they'll have to take a slow 2-turn move to make their delivery. In which case, they should be using their placement to put the Stargate somewhere that they think they'll need after that. Since they need to go to this planet later and they already have a gate there, it makes sense for them to plan ahead and put that gate where they will be able to use it soon. Now, Orange has, a couple turns ago, or in this turn cycle, Orange has just dropped off a good at yellow. He dropped off the cats at yellow, and luckily rolled cups to yellow, which are right next to each other, so they can just ping pong here and finish another delivery quickly. Green is relatively far behind, having only picked up 2 goods and not delivered any of them yet, though they are in decent shape as far as the Stargates go. And put an extra Stargate here because they will eventually need to go get the cups. This presents an opportunity for Blue, who is Orange's rival in this case, because of being fairly close behind but having a lot of routes blocked. Since you can only have 2 gates on a given route, Blue, who is not going here, can put their gate there, denying Orange the ability to travel here in 1 turn, and then continue their turn by traveling off in this direction. All right, so it's Green's turn now, and Green is about to finish a delivery here. Now, you don't have to pick up any good more than once in this game, and so Green knows that they won't have to go back for the bottle or the fruit. However, once you're done with all the deliveries, you do need to race over here to the space station. So Green knows that once they deliver here, and then they are going to get one of cup or cats, and then after that, they're going to get the other one. So they already have a way to get to the cup from either of these 2 destinations, but they don't have any way to get to cat except from here. And this isn't that helpful for them right now because they'll have to go here first. Since they don't have any more gates, they have to plan ahead and pull a gate now. So they'll remove this gate and give themselves some option to place here maybe, or here, or here, depending on where these 2 goods need to go. Red's just gotten here and dropped off his 3rd good, and so the only thing he has to do is get this cat to black, which is going to be kind of annoying because Blue and Orange have teamed up to block both of the routes to the cat, unless he wants to go the long way around, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's still faster for him to take the slow route to do this. However, he didn't place this gate he had, and that's because that traps these gates here, because if either player pulls one, he can drop it in and gain a bunch of time. At this point, Green has just taken their turn, and let's take a look at how close each of the players is to winning. So Orange, whose turn cycled before Green, has to deliver this cup to Yellow and then sprint to the finish. So that will take 1 turn to get the cup. Then, assuming they have no more gates, then 2, 3 turns to get to Yellow, 4, 5, 6, game over. 6 turns. Green has to do a bunch of stuff and is not anywhere close, so we'll come back to them. Red has to pick up a cat, goes black, and then go to the finish. So that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turns. However, they're going to go earlier than Green because their turn is up next, so they're actually ahead. Blue is also far behind. So Blue and Green have to figure out if they can slow the lead players down so they have a chance. We counted earlier, and Red is 1 turn ahead of Orange, which means if Orange can gain a turn somehow, they will actually win. Well, the only way that will happen is if either Green or Blue pulls this, then Orange can place their gate, and 1, 2, 3, 4 turns instead of Red's 4 turns. The Red's 5 turns right now, so Red will have 4 turns as well, but they'd be 1 turn ahead of Orange. The unfortunate part is now, while neither Green nor Blue can win because they still have a bunch of orders to deliver and they're very far from their destinations, they get to choose who actually wins the game. So it's a bit of a kingmaker situation. We're at the end of the game here, and as we calculated several turns ago, Red has won due to being half a turn ahead and nobody else interfering in the kingmaker situation. Well, it's a relatively straightforward game, and it feels like we're short just a little strategic depth here that would have made it a little more interesting. Either something with maybe hidden orders, so you don't know exactly the optimal placement of gates, but that might just lead to some feel-bad moments. Ideally, it'd be something where you had some sort of choice as to how to assist or exchange with other players in a way that made it easier to gang up on the player who was ahead and therefore put all players at about the same level, or maybe something where it wasn't clear who was in the lead, so it was harder to determine what you should do.